In the 1970s and 80s, the rolling hills of Tuscany offered a dreamscape for young couples. With miles of isolated vineyards and quiet country roads, it became a popular, supposedly safe haven for people parking their cars to spend a romantic evening together. But out in those pitch-black woods, someone was watching. A serial killer, later dubbed Il Mostro di Firenze, or the Monster of Florence, began hunting these isolated couples, turning Italy's most beautiful region into a nightmare. The killer followed a strict, horrifying ritual. He attacked exclusively on moonless nights, when the darkness was absolute. After shooting his victims, he performed rapid surgical mutilations in the dark, specifically harvesting the pubic area and left breast of the female victims. He left behind a very specific physical signature. Every single crime scene across a 17-year span yielded the exact same evidence. Casings from a .22 caliber Beretta pistol firing Winchester H-series bullets, easily identifiable by the small H stamped right on the base. He was brazen, and he wanted the police to know they were powerless. Following his final attack, the killer actually packaged a harvested body part into an envelope and mailed it directly to Silvia Della Monica, a female prosecutor working the case, just to mock her. A killer executing a highly predictable, repetitive ritual with the exact same weapon should be caught. Yet this phantom evaded both the Italian police and the FBI for nearly 2 decades. The resulting investigation spun so wildly out of control that authorities produced 3 completely contradictory identities for who the monster actually was. In 1989, the FBI's top profilers analyzed the Italian case files. They painted a picture of a solitary, sexually inadequate local man. According to the profile, this was an organized killer driven by deep pathological hatred, living a seemingly normal, boring life right there in the hills. Italian investigators soon zeroed in on a suspect who seemed to fit the bill, Pietro Pacciani. He was an uneducated, violent local farmer. Authorities accused him of carrying out the murders alongside 2 drinking companions, a group the Italian press mockingly called the Compagni di Merende, the snacking buddies. The prosecution built their case heavily on Pacciani's prior history of extreme domestic violence. They secured a conviction after one of the companions gave a confession, claiming they acted as lookouts, while Pacciani committed the murders. However, this confession was completely contradictory and obtained under immense Italian police pressure. The forensic evidence told a completely different story. The killer extracted organs with a single, flawless cut in pitch darkness, demonstrating the steady hands and precise anatomical knowledge of an experienced surgeon. Pacciani was an illiterate farmer with thick, clumsy hands. It was physically impossible for him to execute such delicate procedures blindly with a flashlight. The men were convenient scapegoats for a police force desperate to close a cold case. Investigators realized they needed to track the weapon, not the man. They traced the origins of the .22 Beretta pistol all the way back to a double homicide in 1968, 6 years before the monster's recognized spree began. This birthed the Pista Sarda, or the Sardinian Trail theory. The original 1968 victims were part of a community of Sardinian immigrants living in Florence, a group with deep rural traditions. Within this specific community, settling family disputes through vendetta, generational blood feuds, was a cultural reality. The theory suggested the Beretta was a communal weapon, passed quietly from hand to settle scores and avenge crimes of passion. The 1968 killing was a clear-cut love triangle murder, but by 1985, the victims were random foreign tourists sleeping in a tent, butchered and surgically mutilated. While the gun undeniably originated in that community, a localized family vendetta offers zero explanation for why the attack suddenly morphed into the ritualistic, cult-like slaughter of complete strangers decades later. This gap in logic led investigators to their most chilling conclusion yet, the second-level theory. This proposed that the accused local farmers were merely paid harvesters, taking orders from untouchable elites. police suspected a secretive satanic cult operated within Florence's high society, consisting of wealthy businessmen, lawyers, and noblemen. They required specific human organs to conduct dark, occult rituals, and they had the money to pay locals to fetch them from the streets. A prime suspect emerged, Dr. Francesco Narducci. He was an incredibly wealthy, prominent gastroenterologist. He ran in those elite circles, and crucially, he possessed the exact surgical skills required to execute the monster's flawless cuts. In October 1985, mere weeks after the monster's final, most brutal attack, Dr. Narducci's body was found floating in Lake Trasimeno. Authorities initially wrote it off as an accidental drowning. Years later, his body was exhumed. The autopsy revealed he had been strangled. The evidence points toward Narducci being the true mastermind, assassinated by his own cult to permanently protect their secrets the moment police started closing in. Today, Italian judiciary and legal experts quietly acknowledge a grim reality. The true Monster of Florence was likely never caught. The investigation was doomed by its own protectors. Italy's two main police forces, the Polizia di Stato and the Military Carabinieri, operated with intense rivalry. They hoarded information and trampled over fresh crime scenes barehanded, contaminating crucial evidence just to steal credit from one another. The system panicked. The investigation devolved into a chaotic legal circus with years of messy trials. Suspects mysteriously died, including Pietro Picciani, who was found poisoned in his home right before he could testify in a new appellate trial. The entire ordeal laid bare a severe class divide in the justice system. Authorities eagerly targeted poor, uneducated farmers, tossing them in prison on flimsy evidence, while turning a blind eye to the untouchable elite surgeons and noblemen who actually possessed the skills to commit the crimes. The true legacy of Il Mostro is a cautionary tale. This killer achieved total victory over the Italian justice system. He left the authorities chasing shadows, while the real truth remains buried forever beneath contaminated evidence and the Tuscan vineyards.